Have you ever wondered why some loves begin like a blazing lightning bolt, yet after only a short time leave behind emptiness, exhaustion, and confusion? Why is it that some people make your heart race the very first time you meet them, but when the illusion dissolves, you ask yourself, where did that person go? Love, at its deepest level, is not only the story of two hearts. It is also the mysterious game of the unconscious, where hidden images, childhood memories, and even the unlived parts of the soul awaken in the gaze of another. Carl Jung once warned, "We often mistakenly believe we are in love with another person, when in reality we are in love with the part of our unconscious that they awaken." This is what makes love both magical and fragile. A sweet beginning can quickly turn into a shattered illusion if we do not recognize the mechanism at work. In today's video, we will explore the two deepest reasons why others fall in love with you, not merely because of your smile, your appearance, or a fleeting charm, but because of unconscious forces you yourself may have never realized. And perhaps, after understanding these two reasons, you will not only recognize why someone is irresistibly drawn to you from the very first moment, but also understand yourself more deeply in the mirror of love. Are you ready to step into that journey? Number 1. Projection. They love the part of themselves they see reflected in you. Have you ever met a man and, from the very first moment, felt a strange stirring in your heart? He looks at you as if he has known you forever, as if you are the missing piece of his life. The way he listens, the way his eyes linger on you, everything makes you believe this must be destiny. But Carl Jung called this phenomenon by a profound term: projection. He is not simply in love with you. He is in love with the repressed parts of himself that you have inadvertently awakened. Imagine this. For years, he has lived within the framework of rules. He is the type of man tied to numbers, plans, and responsibilities. He has learned to hide his freedom, his youthful rebellion, in order to become the reliable man. But then he meets you, a woman who dares to laugh loudly, who dares to speak her desires openly, whose eyes light up when she talks about her passions. In that instant, he does not only see you, he sees the freedom he once denied himself, and he thinks he is madly in love with you. In truth, he is in love with the aliveness within himself, reflected back by you. Perhaps you have experienced this in the opposite direction. You meet a gentle man who listens, who is unafraid to show vulnerability. Meanwhile, because of past wounds, you have learned to be so strong that you rarely allow yourself to be fragile. By his side, you feel you are finally allowed to breathe, to be weak, to cry without judgment. You think this is love. But if you look closer, it is also projection. You are in love with the tenderness you once denied in yourself. He is only the mirror, showing you the part of your soul you need to reconnect with. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." When a man looks at you and exclaims, "You are my destiny," what he may really mean is, you have just touched the part they give you do not only describe you, they reveal them, and the part of themselves you illuminated. A man may be enchanted because he sees in you the freedom he never lived, or he may be drawn to you simply because you dare to do what he never could, to cry when hurt, to laugh when happy, to voice your true needs. In his eyes, you become the image he has always longed for himself. And the miracle is, you did not need to try to be loved. By being real, you became the mirror reflecting his soul. Love in this way is both dangerous and magical. Dangerous, because if both people are not conscious, they will chase illusions and then despair when illusions dissolve. But magical, because it helps us see ourselves more clearly, daring to face the parts we once denied. And for you, listening to these words, here is a truth. Many men love you not only because you are you, they love you because you make them see themselves. You are like a transparent mirror, and sometimes they mistake that feeling for absolute love. So what should you do? Not reject such love, but recognize, he sees me, but often he is only seeing himself. When you understand this, you are no longer dependent on someone else's feelings. You know how to stay grounded and allow love to become a journey of growth, not just reflection. A man may be passionate because you live freely, but if you are conscious, you will not let that love turn into imprisonment. You will remind him and yourself that love is not, I need you to feel free, but we are free together. We see each other. That is the secret of projection. It gives us fiery beginnings, but also sets us challenges. And only by overcoming them can love move from reflection to reality. Because when the illusions vanish, if both are brave enough to remain and look at each other with bare eyes, no mirror, no dream, then real love begins to blossom from the truest ground. If you too have ever realized that sometimes you are not only in love with someone, but also with the part of yourself they revealed, leave a comment saying, I have seen myself in love. To see how many souls are awakening in this reflection. Number 2, anima animus. You match the unconscious image they carry. If projection makes people love you because they see their own shadow reflected in you, then at a deeper level, love is guided by an unconscious image long planted in their soul. Not the image you create now, but one seeded in childhood, in family memories, in early stories. This is anima and animus, the inner images Jung believed exist as an ideal template that leads us in search of love. And when you happen to match that image, their heart instantly trembles as if encountering destiny. Carl Jung pointed out, love is never merely the accidental meeting of two people. It is a profound dialogue between unconscious images. In the soul of every man exists an image of the feminine. Jung called this the anima. In the soul of every woman exists an image of the masculine, the animus. These images are not chosen, but formed silently since childhood, through parents and the culture that raised us. You can imagine, in the soul of every man lies a hidden, ideal woman. Not a specific face, but like a familiar melody etched from childhood. If as a boy he had a gentle mother who often embraced him, that image became a familiar frequency. Later, when he meets a woman with similar gentleness, his heart instantly stirs. But if his childhood was marked by a strong, sometimes controlling mother, another imprint remains, both admiration and fear. For women, it is the same. In every girl's unconscious lives, an ideal man, shaped by her father or other male figures from childhood. Some are drawn to calm, protective men, because they echo the safety their father once gave. Others are stirred by decisive, strong men because that image was deeply imprinted early on. This explains why, when grown, some men are inexplicably drawn to a very specific type of woman, smiling eyes, a soft voice, or even a certain cold aloofness. This is not chance, but the anima in him recognizing a familiar signal. And in turn, some women are only moved by a particular kind of masculinity, steadiness, frankness, or freedom. That is the animus working like an invisible magnet. Thus, when you step into someone's life and unknowingly carry traits that match their anima or animus, their heart immediately responds. They feel you are special, different from everyone else, even believe this is fate. In truth, it is not magic, but resonance with an image etched in their unconscious. I once heard a woman share that she never understood why she was always attracted to men with deep, calm voices. After many failures, she realized that image was identical to her father, a quiet man who always made her feel safe. That feeling became a call in her unconscious, so every time she met a man with a similar presence, her heart immediately stirred. It was not a conscious choice, but her animus whispering, "This is the familiar pattern." In Greek mythology, there is the story of Pygmalion, the sculptor who created a statue of the perfect woman according to his inner ideal. Day after day, he fell in love with his anima, and when you happen to touch it, love will naturally arise. What you must do is not to play a role, but to remain your true self, giving love the chance to grow from unconsciousness to awareness. Anima and animus also explain why we sometimes repeat the same patterns in relationships, loving the same type again and again. A woman with an absent father may be drawn to distant, cold men, as if searching for the missing piece. A man raised by a critical mother may be drawn to strong, sharp women, but also be easily wounded by harshness. Only when we become aware of this Can we freely choose love, not only through unconscious repetition, but through maturity? The point is, when you match someone's animus, you become the embodiment of an image long carried in their heart. You become special, not because you try, but because you unknowingly touch the deepest level of their soul. And that feeling of familiarity, of destiny, makes you unforgettable. Number 3. From the initial passion to when the illusion fades. When love first begins, it is like a fire blazing in the night. Everything happens so quickly you cannot analyze it. His gaze makes you believe the world has shrunk to just 2 people, and your heart insists this is the answer you've been seeking. In those early days, love feels magical. A single text makes you smile all day. A touch of hands keeps you awake all night. But behind this explosion lies a sophisticated psychological mechanism. Both are in love with an image, not yet with each other's true selves. They love the feeling awakened, the belief they have found the perfect half. And over time, that veil of illusion begins to lower. At first, every difference seems charming. You see him as too rigid? You call it calmness. He seems quiet? You call it mystery. He sees you as blunt? He calls it attractive. Everything is colored by the novelty of love, turning flaws into virtues, distance into allure. This is the stage where the heart leads, reason steps back, and eyes see through the shimmering lens of emotion. Neuroscientists have shown that the infatuation stage involves dopamine and oxytocin, 2 hormones that fuel euphoria, bonding, and idealization. Dopamine creates pleasure and excitement, while oxytocin, the bonding hormone, convinces us the other is the one and only. Together, they make love's beginning dazzling and addictive, but also dangerously blind. Yet, as an unavoidable rule, the mist fades. When love enters familiarity, when 2 people begin to be more authentic, what was once painted in glowing colors now appears in neutral light. He is no longer the mysterious man, but simply someone who shares little. You are no longer just the strong woman he admired, but at times too blunt for his comfort. This is not change. It is the illusion falling away to reveal reality. A woman once said that in the early days, her boyfriend always appeared whenever she needed him. He was her hero, driving through the night just because she felt sad. She thought she had found the man of her life. But 2 years later, she realized he no longer rushed to her calls. Instead of comforting, he sometimes said, "You'll be fine on your own." She felt hurt and thought he had changed. In truth, he never changed. She simply sobered from the intoxicating haze. The real man, with both care and fatigue, with both love and limits, now stood clear. Early love is like entering a grand theater when the stage lights first blaze. You see the protagonist in dazzling costume, every gesture perfect, every line enchanting. But when the velvet curtain falls and the lights dim, you glimpse the backstage, smudged makeup, frayed seams, the actor revealed as just a human being, tired and impatient at times. That moment may disappoint, for the performance is no longer glittering. But it is also the moment you realize, only when the play ends do you truly see the person behind the role. You may ask, why isn't he like before? Or, where is the man who made me so happy? These questions arise when illusions dissolve. The truth is, no one changes that quickly. What disappeared was only the veil. The real person was there all along, unseen before. This is the stage where even the smallest details trigger disappointment. A forgotten promise, a missed call, a clash of styles. He seeks silence when stressed. You want conversation. These, once overlooked or romanticized, now stand stark in daylight. Many mistake this disillusionment for the end of love. They think if the thrill is gone, if sleepless nights vanish, love has died. But what disappears is not love, only the magical cloak the mind once draped over it. At this point, two paths unfold. You may feel so let down you leave, convinced you chose wrongly. Or you may pause, reflect, and face the truth. You never loved a perfect being. You loved a human, with desires and scars, tenderness and limits. This is the hardest phase of any relationship, the transition from romantic dream to human. To look at you after all illusions fade, it is the clearest sign they love you for who you are. This love is no longer driven by bursts of passion, but by conscious choice. You no longer love someone because he mirrors a hidden part of you, or because he fits an unconscious ideal. You love him because he is himself, with both gentleness and anger, with both smiles and tears, with both success and failure. And he loves you the same way, not because you are the woman of his dreams, but because you are a real human being. They love you for you, not for any role or image they once built in their minds. The love story of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith is a clear example. For many years, they went through countless storms, rumors, marriage crises, even moments when both admitted they were no longer happy. Yet instead of ending, they chose to confront, to stay, to learn to understand each other at a deeper level. Jada once shared, "Real love is not when you find the perfect person, but when you learn to see an imperfect person as complete." This is the essence of mature love. It does not rest on illusions, but on the courage to see and accept the whole person. They love each other not for roles, but for truth. They love each other for who they are. In mature love, you are no longer afraid of differences. On the contrary, you begin to see differences as material for growth. He may prefer silence, you may prefer sharing. He may need time to think, you may need closeness to feel safe. Those differences, instead of being reasons to break up, become opportunities to learn adjustment, compromise, and complement. This is no longer a relationship of who is right, who is wrong, but a journey of what can we learn together? And if both still choose to hold hands through those differences, it means they love you for you, not for any illusion. Carl Jung once wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. When love reaches maturity, it becomes a process of mutual transformation. You no longer seek in the other a mirror, but find a map guiding you further on your journey of becoming yourself. They love you for you, and that love transforms both, no longer delusion, but awakening. At this stage, love is no longer a hunger needing to be filled, but companionship. You do not love to escape loneliness, but to walk through loneliness together. You do not love to seek validation, but to have someone remind you that you are already whole, even in imperfection. When the other still looks at you in your weakest moments and still smiles, I love you. Believe it. That is real love. They love you for you. The key is, true love does not rob you of freedom. On the contrary, it gives you freedom within connection. You can be yourself and also see yourself in another's eyes. You are allowed to fail, to be weak, to admit limits, and still be loved. And thanks to this, you also learn to give love without conditions. You no longer love in exchange for attention, but love as a natural gift, because the other's presence already carries meaning. If unconscious love is fire, then mature love is ember. The fire excites, but the ember sustains life. A fire lights up a room, but only briefly. The ember is not dazzling, but it lasts, giving steady warmth. In marriage or long relationships, what keeps two people together is not fleeting flames, but patient embers, repeated choices of love over years. And if you realize someone patiently keeps choosing you, holding you through all changes, that is the clearest proof. They love you for you. When love matures, you notice something new. Conflicts no longer scare you. Instead of thinking, he has changed, love is gone, you learn to ask, what can we learn from this difference? Instead of leaving when tired, you learn to stay, to listen, to seek common ground, because you know love is not the absence of problems, but facing them together. And by doing so, you realize they love you not for perfection, but for who you are. From here, the foundation for a lasting relationship is formed. When someone loves you for you, love is no longer fragile like a dream, but becomes a solid home where you can return after everything. It is not fireworks, but ember, quiet, enduring, and strong enough to last a lifetime. Number 5. Practical application: how to live and love from truth instead of illusion. After the blazing intensity of early days, when intoxication fades, we understand. Love is not just a series of sweet feelings. Love, to last, cannot rely only on moments of passion. It requires practice, daily choices, and courage to face both yourself and your partner in truth. Jung once wrote, "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people." This is not only for the personal journey, but also for love. For only when we dare to see ourselves clearly can we love and accept the other in their wholeness. Living and loving authentically begins with recognition. Many believe that powerful emotion is destiny, but without pausing to ask, what in this person makes me tremble? They easily make mistakes. Fill our void, but no one can do that. If we do not see this, we fall into the cycle of hope and disappointment, expecting, then blaming. Only when you take responsibility for your own emptiness can love become freedom instead of dependence. Are you truly ready to practice this? Press like on this video as a signal to the universe that you choose real love over illusion. And if you can, leave a comment revealing the small first step you will dare to take today to start loving with awakened eyes. In a Jungian therapy session, a man confessed he always felt his wife did not love him enough. He compared her to the image in his protective mother. When his wife failed to do the same, he was disappointed. Through conversation, he realized he was searching for his mother in his wife, expecting her to heal childhood wounds. When truth emerged, he wept. He understood his wife was not his mother, and she was not responsible for his healing. Only by facing his own lack could he see her as independent and love her for herself, not for the unconscious image. From then, their love could finally escape illusion. A real relationship does not mean no hardship. There will still be conflict, difference. But instead of seeing difference as a threat, you see it as a chance to grow. Instead of leaving when the other no longer matches fantasy, you stay to know their true self. That choice, repeated, is the foundation of mature love. In the end, love is not finding the right person, but learning to love a real one in both their light and shadow. When you start living truthfully, subtle changes appear. You no longer panic at silence, knowing silence is not always rejection. You no longer prove worth by over-giving, knowing your value is not in others' eyes. You no longer try to be perfect to deserve love. Instead, you show up as yourself, and if someone stays, that is real love. Jung wrote, "Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Only when you bring both opposites into love can you truly be loved for yourself. Walking in sincerity also means accepting that love is not always bright. There will be tired days, misunderstandings, disappointment. But instead of declaring love dead, you see it as part of the journey. Just as being true to yourself is not always pleasant, loving sincerely is the same. Only there do we find freedom. Freedom to be ourselves, and freedom for the other to be themselves too. When love is built on truth, it is no longer a game of mirrors or repetition of unconscious memory. It becomes a space where both grow. You no longer love to seek validation, but to have a companion. You do not love to avoid loneliness, but to go through loneliness together. You do not love to be filled, but to remind each other you are already whole, even in imperfection. Looking back, you see the difference. Relationships based on illusion often drain you. Mature love nourishes you. It is not a flame that burns then dies, but an enduring energy that sustains through years. It does not make you lose yourself, but helps you find yourself more. Ultimately, real love is not just about binding with another, but about returning to your true self. Someone who makes others fall in love for Jung's 2 reasons is like a melody rising from the unconscious, not loud, not deliberate, yet strangely familiar to all who hear it. That sound awakens forgotten tunes, unnamed memories, and convinces them they have found something special. So, if you have ever asked, why does someone love me so much, even when I did nothing? The answer is not in tricks of attraction or outer masks. It lies in how you accidentally touch the deepest layers of their soul. When you reflect the part they once abandoned, or when you match an image long living in their unconscious. That connection makes you unforgettable, even as illusions fade, for you are present not only in their present, but in memories they thought long asleep. And if this video stirs your desire to understand more about these hidden mechanisms of love, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This journey is not about learning how to be perfect in someone's eyes, but about realizing true magnetism begins when you dare to show up fully as yourself, and from there, allow love to become a mirror where both grow rather than just a fleeting dream. There are many women who believe they are living well, yet deep inside, a quiet insecurity remains. They were once loved when they were obedient, kept when they pleased others, and praised when they matched expectations. But when that recognition disappeared, they felt unstable, lost direction, and gradually dimmed their own light, as if they only existed when illuminated by someone else's gaze. Carl Jung believed that a woman's greatest insecurity does not come from not being good enough, but from forgetting who she is when she is no longer playing a role. And the true turning point only comes when she dares to ask herself, if I no longer need anyone's praise, who will I be? If I no longer need to fit into anyone's mold, will I still feel worthy? From that moment, the journey of transformation begins, moving her from fragility born of needing to prove herself toward a steadiness and radiance that comes from within. No longer chasing the gaze of others, she lights herself from the inside and walks with a quiet, undeniable magnetism. In this video, we will walk through 4 important transformations, like doors opening the way, that will take you from a woman who once lived in anxiety and constant proving to a presence that is radiant, steady, and no longer easily swayed by anyone. Are you ready? Because the journey toward your true self can begin in this very moment. Number 1. From seeking validation to living as a truth. Have you ever felt like you were playing a role, the role of a suitable, lovable, worthy of being chosen woman? A role without a clear script, but one that always requires you to smile at the right moment, speak in the right tone, and appear in a way that satisfies every gaze. You may not consciously realize it, but the exhaustion after every attempt to be loved, the anxiety when no one praises you, or the emptiness after a day of living up to standard, all are signs that you are living like a mirror reflecting others' expectations, rather than living as yourself. Today, millions of women grow up with an unspoken belief that their value must be given to them by a lover, a friend, a parent, a boss, social media. One compliment can make them feel like they are shining. One criticism can make them collapse. They live as if constantly waiting for applause from someone to believe they are good enough. But then comes a turning point. One day, not necessarily a big event, just a quiet moment, that woman looks back at her journey and she realizes all this time she has lived to be chosen, but never once chosen herself. I once heard a woman describe her awakening moment like this. She had been the ideal girl, good grades, well-behaved, attractive, with a good job and a successful boyfriend. On social media, everyone envied her life. But one night, sitting alone in her well-furnished apartment, she burst into tears for no reason. She said, "Everything is fine, but I can't find myself in any of it." That sentence may sound simple, but it was the key. Because from that moment, she began to ask herself, if I no longer need anyone's approval, how will I live? The transformation began with that question. Not a loud, dramatic change, not destroying everything old, but a quiet shedding of leaves. She gradually stopped trying to fit into be explained or justified. They just need to be heard. And sometimes, all you need is to learn how to say, "I'm not okay. I need a little space," or "I feel hurt." You don't need others to understand. You just need to be sincere enough to stop silencing yourself. The miracle is, when you are honest with your feelings, not only will you not be pushed away, you will become radiant and magnetic in a different way. People will no longer come to you because you always know how to make them comfortable, but because with you, they too can be themselves. In a world full of performed relationships, from greetings to intimacy, an honest person is always a special anchor. They make others feel they can breathe. No need to guess intentions. No need to check tone. No need to worry about causing trouble. Just to be real and enough. You'll know you've begun to transform when you stop apologizing for feeling, when you no longer rush to smile to smooth the air, when you dare to say no, even knowing it may displease someone, when you dare to say, "I'm hurt," without feeling weak, and when you know telling the truth is not to be accepted, it's so you no longer reject yourself. Jung once wrote, "Emotion is the chief source of becoming conscious. Feelings are the source of awakening. Without feelings, consciousness cannot open. Without feelings, there is no real connection. And without feelings, you live a life so quiet, you forget you are alive." A woman's radiance is not in always being cheerful, agreeable, and making everyone comfortable. It lies in being honest with what's alive inside. And that unleaked, unedited energy creates a strange magnetism. You'll see it in the woman who speaks little, but every word carries weight. In the woman who quietly walks away when she no longer feels she belongs, not out of anger, but because she no longer wants to pretend everything is fine. You can start with something small. Next time someone asks, "Do you want to go out tonight?" Instead of answering out of habit, pause for a moment. Listen to yourself. And if you don't want to, say it. No excuse needed. No forced smile. Just, "Tonight I want to be alone." And notice how that feels. You may find it strange, but maybe, for the first time in a long while, you'll feel you've spoken something true. If you have lived as someone always agreeable, I want to tell you this. Being pleasant is not a crime, but if it costs you your honesty, perhaps it's time to return it to the world in exchange for yourself. And remember, honesty with your feelings is not weakness, but a deep expression of self-respect. Every time you listen to yourself, you are rebuilding the bridge to your true self. Every time you choose truth over keeping up appearances, you are teaching your heart, "I deserve to exist fully." No one can live for you. No one can feel for you. If you keep silent, the world will not become gentler. Instead, you will gradually disappear within it. But if you dare to speak, gently, sincerely, without needing to be loud, you will see. What keeps people close is not your pleasantness, but the truth you no longer hide. And from that moment, radiance begins. Not the artificial light from others' satisfaction, but the inner light, the only one no one can extinguish. And if this part makes you feel like something inside you has been named, don't scroll away too fast. Breathe slowly, and try whispering, "I allow myself to feel." You don't need to be right. You don't need to be reasonable. You just need to be real. Because sometimes, just one moment of honesty is enough to change the way you show up for the rest of your life. Everyone has a first time daring to live truthfully. If today is that moment for you, leave a small sign, the word truth, or anything that carries your own mark. Who knows, your whisper might be the first light for someone still quietly searching for themselves in the crowd. Number 3. From hiding your wounds to embracing the darkness. There is a stage in a woman's life where she believes, if she is strong enough, all wounds will simply vanish. That crying is weakness, trembling is shameful, and if she keeps smiling, keeps moving forward, the pains of the past will no longer catch up. She tries to tuck her hurt memories into a locked drawer in her mind, label it over, and turn away. She becomes someone fine in the eyes of everyone. But in her quietest moments, a strange fatigue washes over her, not from lack of sleep, not from pressure, but because for too long, she hasn't been allowed to be weak. Carl Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Wounds that are never faced do not disappear. They only change form into excessive tolerance, unexplained vigilance, small outbursts over nothing. And then, you no longer know what is driving you. You just feel you're living in an ill-fitting coat without knowing how to take it off. I once heard a woman share the moment she realized how long she had lived in the mask of strength. In a group therapy session, when asked, "When was the last time you cried wholeheartedly?" she laughed, a familiar reflex, and said, "I don't cry." You feel lighter, not because you forgot the past, but because you stopped rejecting it. Modern science echoes what Jung long affirmed. In neuroscience, researchers like Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, have shown that repressed memories don't just live in the mind, they are stored in the body. The nervous system, breathing patterns, stress reflexes, all remember the experiences the conscious mind has denied. And if unprocessed, they keep a woman living in defense mode, sleepless, emotionally numb, or never truly believing she is safe, even when everything around her is calm. So, embracing the darkness is not some vague philosophical act. It is a biological need. When you sit with your wounds, allowing yourself to cry, to tremble, even to panic, in a conscious, supported way, you send your nervous system a message. I'm no longer in danger. I'm being heard. And from there, real healing can begin. A woman who dares to step into the darkness is not pitiful, she is courageous. Because she understands that the more she runs, the more the pain will surface. But if she dares to look back, to stay in that space, even when everything outside says, "Haven't you moved on yet?" then that wound will stop controlling her life. From then on, she no longer needs a strong shell to survive. She doesn't need to be fine all the time. She can say, "Today I'm weak. I'm in pain. I need someone to sit with me." And that, kindness toward herself, is the foundation of true resilience. You'll notice this transformation in small things. When you stop feeling ashamed of having been hurt, when you tell a painful memory without having to justify it, when you no longer feel you must be good enough to deserve love, when you no longer try to fix yourself to heal, but simply sit, present with yourself. And from the moment you can sit in the darkness without running, light begins to seep in. Not light from anyone else, but from the sincerity you give to the deepest part of yourself. If you have a pain you've hidden well, a story you've never told, a memory you've always avoided, try writing it down. You don't need to share it. You don't need to resolve it. Just see it as part of you. And whisper to yourself, "I don't need to be perfect to heal. I just need to stay." That is what creates the deep, quiet magnetism of a woman who has made peace with her darkness. Not because she is stronger than anyone, but because she no longer fears being weak. Not because she is numb, but because she has felt enough to stop judging herself. And when she no longer rejects her rough edges, she no longer judges others for the ones they hide. You can sense it in her, not through appearance, not through words, but through the stillness when she listens to someone's pain without interrupting. Through eyes that don't look away from another's wound. Through the sense of safety you feel with her, because you know, here, you don't have to pretend to be okay. And if you are ready to place your hand over your heart and say, "I see you, I no longer reject you," then you are very close to this profound transformation. Because in the end, lasting radiance doesn't come from hiding pain, but from daring to step into the darkness and finding yourself there. You will realize that it's not the wounds that make you weak, but pretending they aren't there that drains you. When you dare to say, "I have been broken," you are no longer controlled by the past. You turn it into soil from which a new self can grow, gentle, honest, and strong in a way that needs no proving. If you have ever sat with a wound just once, share a small story in the comments, or simply leave a line. I've been there. Who knows, your whisper might be the first light for someone still sitting in the dark. Number 4. From defining yourself by roles to seeing yourself as a living being. When a woman has been brave enough to sit with her pain, neither denying nor hiding it, no longer treating her darkness as something to conceal, she begins to step into a deeper layer of awakening. Here, she not only embraces the fragments, but starts to look back at the entire structure she once built, the roles, the identities, the expectations she carried to be seen as a good woman. And at this pause, she begins to ask herself, If I no longer have to be the good mother, the ideal partner, the excellent employee, do I still exist? If no one calls me by any title, will I still have value? That question, without being negative, is a turning point, because it leads her to the final transformation, from living as a role to living as a human being. In a world that runs on titles and labels, it is easy for a woman to equate herself with the roles she fulfills. She is a mother, so she must be patient. She is a wife, so she must nurture. She is a dutiful daughter, so she must swallow her feelings and avoid making anyone sad. She is a modern woman, so she must be independent, successful, attractive, and never let her inner mess show. Role by role, standard by standard, none of them wrong. But after too long in the machinery of becoming someone to be indescribable emptiness. For decades, she had lived with the title mother, a devoted, loving, self-sacrificing mother. But when her children no longer needed daily care, she didn't know what to do with her time, her energy, or even herself. She began trying unusual things, learning to paint, to dance, to travel alone. At first, she felt guilty, as if being selfish. But then, one morning in Florence, painting under the early sunlight, she cried. Not out of sadness, but because for the first time in 30 years, she felt she was truly living, not to fulfill a role, but to exist as a human being. Her radiance did not come from the glory of a perfect role. It came from daring to step off the stage, to walk as a real person. No applause needed, no spotlight shining, no one calling her name. She still shone, not because she was seen, but because she was living in tune with her soul. You may have been the wonderful child, the devoted mother, the accommodating wife, the exemplary colleague, but if one day you feel exhausted, lost, or empty, it may not be because you did something wrong. It may simply be that it's time to exist as a person before being a role. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." The greatest privilege of life is not to be recognized through roles, but to dare to live in your true self. You are not a job title, not a role, not what others have labeled you. You are a human being with feelings, desires, fatigue, light, and darkness. And only when you stop living as a function to be loved and start living as a being to be present do you truly become radiant. The wonderful thing is, you don't have to escape all roles to start living authentically. You just have to remember that whether you are being a mother, a wife, a caregiver, or someone in another's eyes, inside, you are still a living person. A person with the right to breathe, to rest, to be imperfect. A person whose worth does not come from performing a role well, but simply from being alive. And then, little by little, you will notice something strange. The more you let go of labels, the more clearly you connect with yourself. No longer the ideal child, you become the inner child learning to forgive your parents. No longer the strong woman, you allow yourself to cry, to be tired, to sit quietly without proving anything. No longer the ideal lover, you don't need to be sexy, positive, or entertaining just to keep someone. You know that if someone loves you, they will stay because you are you, not because of a role you strain to maintain. In that moment, you may see everything around you change. Relationships become more genuine, no longer full of expectations and silent compromises. Time becomes precious because you no longer use it to sustain worn-out performances. Your mind becomes lighter because you stop managing images you must protect, labels you must cling to. You may still be a mother, a partner, a leader, but you no longer identify yourself solely with those roles. When your children no longer need you, when your partner leaves, when your work changes, you do not collapse, because you have never turned yourself into a function of those things. You are still you, no title, no job, no holding on to anyone, and still whole. Your radiance comes not from playing every role well, but from daring to be present even when no one applauds. A quiet light, but enduring. An energy that needs no performance, yet makes people feel safe with you, because they know that with you, they too don't need to act. And if one day you realize, I have lived too long to be seen, but have never truly seen myself, then perhaps today is the time to return. Return to the living being inside you, weakness and strength, mess and beauty, but real. Imperfect, but fully alive. You no longer need anyone to assign you worth, because true worth doesn't lie in roles, but in whether you dare to live as yourself. A woman who was once insecure does not become radiant by pushing harder, but by letting go of what she no longer is. When she stops living for approval, stops pleasing to keep someone, stops hiding her pain to appear strong, stops defining herself by roles, she begins to live truly. Not perfect, but whole. Not built for someone to love, but becoming a naturally lovable presence, full of life. 4 changes, seemingly small, but they are turning points. They take her from a woman fragile from having to prove she's worthy to a steady presence, unshakable. Not because she's hardened, but because she's made peace with her truth, her darkness, the pieces once rejected. And if right now you feel something in you has just been named, as if something has softened, lightened, like a long breath after years of straining to be enough, then perhaps you have already begun this return. Share this video, follow the channel, and turn on the notification bell if you want to continue walking this journey. The journey where radiance doesn't come from trying harder, but from stopping pretending that you are not enough. Because when you live as a truth, no one needs to hold on to you, and no one can take away your light. magnetic, tender yet distant, pure yet deep. Persephone shows that a woman doesn't need to give all. The more she keeps, the more mystical she becomes, captivating both gods and mortals. Men in real life are also drawn to women with Persephone inside. They don't need you to be perfect, nor to reveal everything. What they want is the feeling of accompanying you on a journey, discovering something new each day. What is given too quickly dies quickly. What is revealed slowly sustains desire. Keeping mystery does not mean shutting down or being cold. It's the awareness that you have a vast inner world and no one deserves to enter all at once. A man needs time, patience, effort to earn your trust and see you open layer by layer. That journey of waiting and discovery is what binds him deeply. What comes too easy is rarely valued. Jung once said, "There is no light without shadow and no psychic wholeness without imperfection." The mysterious woman is one who guards that treasure, not to hide forever, but to save for the right man, the right time. And when that moment comes, what she gives becomes priceless. Not something anyone can have, but only those truly worthy. In the end, a mysterious woman embodies luxury, not easily possessed, yet universally desired. She is not placed as one of many options, but becomes the one etched deep in a man's memory. Because mystery is the delicate yet unbreakable veil that keeps you unique. Without flaunting, without proving, you still make men endlessly yearn. And when you keep small secrets for yourself, you turn love into a long journey, not a fire that flares up and burns out quickly. If you have ever experienced the power of mystery in love or life, share your story in the comments. Perhaps your experience will inspire other women to preserve and nurture this rare energy. Number 4. Gratitude and enjoyment. Happiness energy, present in every small detail. Mystery draws men toward you, but the energy of happiness present in small details is what keeps them long-term. A man may be attracted by beauty, by mystery, but he truly bonds with a woman who treasures life, who finds joy in the simplest things. Few realize, happiness doesn't lie in having much, but in feeling enough with what you have. A woman who constantly compares and complains radiates scarcity, like an empty vessel always demanding to be filled. In contrast, a woman who smiles at the aroma of hot tea, who looks up at the blue sky and feels calm, she radiates fullness. That is the sign of a luxury item. No one can buy that happiness because it doesn't come from outside but from inner connection. Carl Jung emphasized that true happiness doesn't come from clinging to externals, but from connecting with the self, the whole inner being. When a woman connects with herself, she no longer worries about what she lacks, no longer chases external standards. She feels enough, and from that enoughness, she becomes a light. A man near such a woman feels safe, because he knows he doesn't have to carry the burden of filling her emptiness. On the contrary, he is nourished by her fullness, making life lighter. Imagine a garden full of flowers. It doesn't call anyone in, doesn't need signs, yet its colors, scents, and vitality make passers-by stop, gaze, and return again and again. A grateful, enjoying woman is the same. She doesn't chase anyone, doesn't beg for love, doesn't need to prove. Her fullness in small details, a smile at sunrise, calm with a cup of tea, joy in cooking, turns her into a luxury garden men can't leave. In love, many women think to keep a man, they must surprise him or sacrifice greatly. But the truth is, What holds a man longest is the peace you radiate. When you sit beside him, simply enjoying gentle music or smiling at rain outside the window, you show him. You don't need the world to be perfect to be happy. And that's something men rarely find, for they are often lost in pressure, in the race for success, in the absence of the present. A man once shared that he'd been in many relationships, but never forgot one memory: a rainy evening, sheltering with his lover under a roof. Instead of complaining about wet clothes or traffic jams, she turned her face to the raindrops, laughed and said, "Romantic, isn't it?" In that moment, he felt she gave him another world, where happiness didn't depend on circumstance, but came from within. Years later, he still remembered that, because it was completely different from other women he'd known. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And when you live in gratitude, you become yourself, not a lacking copy chasing others, but a whole being, finding joy in small details." A woman in this energy is a luxury because she is independent, doesn't need to prove, yet radiates a fullness everyone longs to touch. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat down grateful for something small? Maybe a cool drink on a hot day, a caring message, or simply your healthy body. When you begin to see those things, your energy shifts. And when your energy shifts, so does the world around you. Men thought I couldn't survive, but those dark days taught me to cherish the light. That day, no one pitied her. Instead, they saw a real human, not just a facade. From then, she was the most trusted, not only for her ability, but for her honesty. Men too. Many women think to be loved, they must hide weakness, always act strong and have fun. But men don't stay long with a great actress, but with a woman who lives true. In his world, always armored, he longs for a place to drop the armor. When you dare let him see your essence, you silently tell him, "You can live true too with me." That safety is what keeps men. Carl Jung showed that the journey from persona to self is the return to true essence. And that is also what makes a woman luxury, not flawless looks, but courage to be real. A woman living true can say, "I'm tired today," can cry when needed, can admit fears. Instead of making men look down, it makes them feel closer and special, because most women still try to prove perfection. In history, Princess Diana exemplified the magnetism of living true. In the rigid British royal family, Diana did not hesitate to show her vulnerability. She openly spoke of postpartum depression, of marital pain, of loneliness even in a palace. Many thought that would diminish admiration, but instead she became the people's princess. Millions of women saw themselves in the truth she dared share. That authenticity made her unforgettable, a luxury the world never forgot. Living true doesn't mean exposing everything, but daring to show real emotions without fear of judgment. A luxury woman can beam with a smile, but also say, "Today I'm fragile." She doesn't need to hide to be loved, because she knows her value lies in truth. If you notice, those who leave the deepest mark in your life aren't perfect ones, but those who lived true. They dared cry when hurt, laugh when happy, share fears without fear of ridicule. That is luxury energy. In a fake world, truth is rare and priceless. Men may be drawn to grace or beauty, but they only bond long-term with your essence. Because that's what they can't find elsewhere. When you live true, you become luxury, not a perfect display piece, but an original, rare soul. So we've gone through 2/3 of the journey. Before continuing, pause briefly. Breathe deeply. Let silence touch you. If you see yourself in this story, like this video, to let us know you're present with us. This journey has much left to discover, and the next steps may be the pieces you've been searching for all along. Number 6. Gentle but not weak, feminine strength lies in softness with resolve. Gentleness is the essence of feminine energy, but if only gentleness without boundaries, you'll be swept away by others' demands. Conversely, if only toughness, you may turn dry, making love a power struggle. A luxury woman balances both, soft like water, firm like stone. Carl Jung emphasized balance between opposites in individuation, the process of becoming whole. Femininity is not just softness, not just hardness. It is harmony of seeming contradictions. A woman gentle yet not weak is one who has learned to integrate her light and shadow, letting both coexist and support each other. This makes her rare, not easily overpowered, yet not needing to shout to prove strength. A viewer named Anna once shared with the channel her experience. A successful entrepreneur, at work, she was known for her calm demeanor, always listening, speaking gently. But once, when a partner offered a disadvantageous contract term, instead of silently accepting or angrily protesting, she calmly smiled and said, "I understand your point, but this doesn't align with my company's values. If it isn't changed, we can't work together." Her voice wasn't raised, her tone not harsh, but her stance was steel. In the end, the partner conceded. What impressed everyone wasn't just the outcome, but the way she kept softness in voice, yet firmly defended values. In love, this is even more crucial. A gentle but not weak woman can tell her man, "I understand you, but this I cannot accept." It sounds light, non-attacking, but it sets a clear boundary. It affirms she's willing to listen, but not to sacrifice self-respect for a relationship. This balance makes men feel safe and respectful. A woman's strength isn't always in loud voices or rebellion. Sometimes it's in a calm smile while saying no, in tender yet unwavering eyes when defending her values. That strength makes men realize you're not easily controlled, yet you don't turn love into a battlefield. You are the rare union of compassion and principle. What makes you luxury? Picture a willow branch by the river. When strong winds blow, it doesn't snap like rigid branches, but bends gracefully, then returns upright. Its softness isn't weakness, but the secret to surviving storms. A rare woman is the same. She can be gentle, tender, but inside holds an unshakable spine. If you notice, the most admired women are not always steel strong, nor always breeze soft. They are the blend. They can embrace you when you're weak, but also firmly say stop when you cross lines. In therapy, a mother once shared that in early motherhood, she was exhausted. Juggling work, children, family, she rarely had time for herself. Fatigue made her irritable, angry, even despairing, until she realized if she didn't care for herself, what she gave others was only fatigue. She then changed: daily breath practice, meditation, gratitude journaling. She allowed rest, asked for help. Soon she was calmer, her kids felt safer. Only by nurturing herself could she truly nurture family with peace. This is also backed by science. Research on brain plasticity shows that habits like meditation, yoga, gratitude boost oxytocin and endorphins, hormones of peace and bonding. Oxytocin, the love hormone, makes people feel safe, trusting, connected. When a woman nurtures herself, oxytocin rises, making her feel peaceful and radiate positive energy others want to be near. Studies show people practicing gratitude and self-care recover faster from stress. In today's rush, where women are expected to multitask and endure, nurturing becomes rare and luxurious. Many chase success, love, recognition, forgetting the most vital, nurturing themselves to live whole. A woman who dares pause, prioritize inner peace, is rare. She doesn't prove with busyness or sacrifice, but shines through nurturing energy. And this nurturing isn't only about her own quiet moments, it's also natural radiance. When full, she doesn't try to give. Warmth and peace flow from her, making men feel strengthened, children safe, friends healed. Like a candle, its flame doesn't dim when lighting others. That radiance is luxury, because in this tense world, peace energy is rare and priceless. Carl Jung said no single way of living fits all. Nurturing is the same. For one, it's reading, another painting, meditating, or walking in nature. The only rule is listening to yourself to refill your inner vessel. When you nurture yourself, you not only make yourself happy, but your presence becomes a gift. That makes the difference. You're no longer a choice, but a luxury anyone who touches feels precious. As Jung stressed, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. When a woman dares turn inward, nurture, and fill herself, she not only awakens, but becomes a rare light in the world's eyes. A woman with 7 feminine energy secrets is like a work of art shaped by time, depth, and silent experience, not a mass product. She doesn't need to prove, doesn't need to flaunt. Her way of living true, setting boundaries, nurturing peace, and radiating fullness makes her rare, a gift time has carved. To the world, she is not an item weighed among options. She is a presence anyone who feels lucky, an energy that makes others naturally cherish, respect, and follow. And you too can join these women, not by changing to be like someone else, but by returning to nurture yourself, to listen, to enjoy, to live true, even if that defies old norms. If today's secrets touched you, share this video so other women may also reclaim their feminine power. And don't forget to subscribe to join us in the journey of self-discovery, where you don't just become a choice, but a rare, luxurious, irreplaceable version of yourself.